Hello everyone, I have a great news that our Indian superstar Koneru Humpy has won her first game against Anna Muzychuk in Fide Women's Candidates Tournament. This is a great news and I'm really happy, and I'm going to show you this miniature. You can say this is a very beautiful win played by Koneru Humpy. So guys, don't forget to like this video, comment on the video also, Koneru Humpy OP, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll be getting straight to the game. Koneru Humpy was white. Her opponent Anna Muzychuk, who is also a very strong player, playing from the black side here. D4, D5, C4, D captures C4. This is a queen's gambit accepted. We will be going through the game, and this game has a very beautiful finish. So guys, stay tuned till the end with me and enjoy the game. Okay. Knight of 3, just developing a piece here. Knight of 6. Now she plays E3. The idea is to capture the pawn on c4 square. E6 was played, bishop captures c4. Everything is normal until this point. c5 was played, castles a6. Well, in this position, b5 is some kind of a threat from black side. Sometimes they even play b6 also in this position. But any normal player in this position would think that b5 is coming, I need to do something, I have to stop with a4 move. Okay, a4 is also a very playable move. It is not any mistake. Many players have played a4 move in this position. Also, another option in this position is to capture on c5 and go for the endgame after the queen exchanges. Okay, this endgame you can play, and there are several games played in this opening by many top players. But okay, Koneru Humpy was prepared, very well prepared. She decided to play b3. Of course, this move has been played by top players like Carlsen, Giri, and some other players have recently played b3 move, inviting the move like is b5. Okay, we'll see what happens if b5 is played. b6 was played in the game after some time, but b5, if you play this move, what happens? Bishop will fall back to e2 square, bishop to b7. You don't need to worry about anything. You can just play bishop to b2, knight d7, and now you develop your pieces, knight c3, bishop e7, and the game will go on after rook to c1 and so on. Okay, so these are just a nice playable position, and sometimes after b5 has been played, white will get some chances to play against the b5 move by playing a4. So that's why players nowadays are preferring to play b6 instead of playing b5. Okay, after b3, Anna Muzychuk decided to play knight d7. Then Koneru Humpy fall back with the bishop on e2 square. b6 was played because now playing b5 is still a feasible option, but still decided to play b6 in this position. Now Koneru Humpy decided to play knight e5 in the position. Centralizing the knight is always a good thing, because when the knight is centralized, it covers very important squares in opponent's camp. Okay, bishop to b7, and now here this bishop is going to be a very strong piece. So that's why Koneru Humpy decided to exchange the bishop. This is a very good strategy which you should remember. Okay, whenever it is possible for you, try to exchange your opponent's good pieces or the pieces which will be very useful for your opponent in future. In this case, the bishop on b7 is going to be very useful because it is aiming towards white's king side. Okay, so that's why she played bishop to f3, exchanging the bishops. Queen captures f6, f3, bishop d6 was played, and now here in this position you need to do something about the knight on e5, because if you just leave that knight there, then maybe black has the options of capturing here, which Humpy decided not to allow. So she plays knight captures d7, knight captures d7, and very calmly she puts the bishop on a3, putting some eye on this diagonal. Okay, now here Anna Muzychuk could have played castles, which was a possibility in this position, which is a fair move. And after that, maybe I think Humpy would have gone for knight d2, and the ideas related to knight e4, knight c4 are still there on the board. The rook will come on c1 and d1 square. In that case, the queen needs to move to b8 square, most probably to put some pressure on this diagonal and also to support the bishop in this case. But instead of castling, she decided to play queen b8 in this position, putting an eye towards the pawn on h2. She is thinking that Humpy might just save the pawn by playing h3 move, and then next move she can go for castle. But Humpy decided to play something else. She said like, okay, if you want to capture the pawn on h2, you can capture it. No issues for this thing. I'm going to play on the other side of the board. So she captures on c5, which is a very good move. The knight captures on c5, and now here in this position, queen c6 check. Maybe she missed this check, or maybe she missed something else which is going to happen in future. After queen to c6 check, king e7 was played by Muzychuk, the idea is to bring the rook in the game very quickly. Okay, and after that you can go back and do the artificial castle in the position. And here Humpy decided to just play knight d2, ignoring the threat of bishop captures the pawn on h2 square. And okay, Muzychuk decided to play rook c8, attacking the queen. Queen went back to f3 square, bishop captures the pawn on h2 check, king h1, and now bishop d6. This position is still very balanced, you can say. Black has got one pawn, but white has a good amount of pieces attacking on black's king, and black's king is not yet safe. So here she brings the knight on c4 square and attacking the bishop on d6. Now in this position, Anna Muzychuk made a big mistake, which was not evident at this moment. Okay, she played king f8. The best move in this position was to play king e8. I'll show you the difference between what happened in the game and this move also, because this is a very important point. Okay, so here when king f8 was played, the move that is rook a d1 was played. Bishop went back to e7 square. In the game this happened. After bishop captures c5, no matter what you do, rook is going to come on d7 square, which is a very strong move. But if you did not play that move, and if you play king e8 in this position, then after the same move sequence, rook a d1, bishop e7, bishop captures c5, maybe you can capture with the bishop, the rook d7 will not be coming so easily. Okay, you can play it if you want to go for the draw, because after king captures d7, queen f7 check, and king c6, queen f3 should lead to a draw, because even if you play this move, we still can play queen f7 check. The checks will not be stopping. And if you play this and if you try to stop the checks by playing bishop e7, that will be a big blunder, because after rook d1 check, king to c6, queen captures on e6 check, king b5, queen d7 is a very important check, rook c6 stopping the check. Now a4 check, king doesn't have that many squares to go in this position. King to b4 or king c5, one and the same thing, king b4, then queen d2 check. And now if you play this queen to c5, then we can give queen d4 check, forcing king d4, and after you move the knight anywhere, this will lead to a checkmate very soon. After the capture on b3, you can give rook b1 check, king might come here, and queen d3 will lead to checkmate. And if you don't do that thing, let's suppose you capture the pawn here, then also it will lead to check, king c4, and queen d4 will lead to check and mate. So that's the thing, that if black stops the checks, then she is going to be checkmated. If she doesn't stop the check, it will lead to a draw. Okay, so that's the difference between playing king e8 and king f8. Okay, in the game, king f8 was played, and I'll show you what is really happening. Rook a d1 attacking the bishop on d6 square, bishop moved back to e7, and now bishop captures on c5. There is a very beautiful tactic which is going to come on the board. Okay, so bishop captures c5 can be a possibility. The idea is to play rook d7, and after bishop e7, rook b7 will trap the queen. This is the idea. The queen really doesn't have any square on this big diagonal, long diagonal. There is no square. The rook is supported by the queen, and queen will be lost on the square that is on b8. That's insane, right? So guys, bishop did not capture on c5. She captured with the pawn, but still rook d7 came on the board. And now the idea is to play knight d6. Okay, bishop cannot capture because queen f7 is going to be a checkmate. So here Anna decided to play rook a7, trying to stop everything, but still knight came on d6 square. The idea is quite clear. Queen f7 is a checkmate threatened because knight is supporting that thing. If you capture with the bishop, then also queen f7 checkmate is there. And in the game, queen d6 was played. Here Koneru Humpy played a very calm move, that is rook captures on a7. Still, there are threats related to rook to d1. If the queen moves, queen b7 is going to come, and this is not so easy for black to defend. Black is going to lose. So that's why after rook captures a7, Anna Muzychuk decided to resign the game. Okay, you might ask me this question, why not capture the queen? Well, if you capture the queen, then the attack which was white having will be disappeared from the board, and black might get some chance to defend the position. So that's why rook a7 is important, not going for the queen but going for the king. And guys, this is such a beautiful game, very short game of just 24 moves which Koneru Humpy has played in the first round of Fide Women's Candidates Tournament happening in 2022. I hope that you enjoyed the game, and don't forget to like this video, comment Koneru Humpy OP, how did you like the game, and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I'll be meeting very soon tomorrow with some new game. Till that moment, take care. Love you all.